Let's talk about development cycle because that's a really sexy thing to talk about.
Yeah.
But it is important when we're talking about a piece of software that we're going to base our entire voiceover or narration or podcasting career on. It is important to talk about how that software gets made and how it gets updated as we go forward, right? Because if we plan to do this, hopefully, for the next 10, 15, 30, 40 years of our lives and careers, that becomes an important thing to know before you select a DAW, isn't it?
Oh, very important. But it'd be the same as I have children. Do you know that, Donnie? I have children.
I had heard a rumor.
Okay. So here's what happens. A lot of guys my age, I ate Twinkies, I ate Ho-Hos, I ate more sugar when I was a young guy than it should have been legally allowed. Okay. My grandfather used to let me drink Mountain Dew, and he limited me to 3 Mountain Dews per day. Now, my kids never. I don't think they knew what Mountain Dew was because my wife. So the younger generations, people now, what they do is they just know if you start with weak ingredients and you're eating garbage all day long, then you have a problem. Well, when it comes to development, the people that are developing something like Studio One, they have budget. And they have a crazy budget because Studio One comes out of Persona. So people don't care about this on one hand, but they should because it has to do with their future. The Studio One development team in hardware, they're doing about $100 million a year plus. So Studio One's the glue that holds their whole world together, all their hardware stuff. Studio One can be part of that. It'll work with anything else in the universe as far as audio stuff and interfaces, but they have budget. Well, what does that mean? They can hire people that are probably salaried. Well, I just know this. I've looked at their development team. I've seen the education and skill level they have, and they have a development team that's being paid over $1 million a year just in salaries to develop the product. And Audacity team is absolutely off the charts amazing for free. That they get donations, but they don't. Most of them are not audio engineers before they did this, and they may decide, oh, cool, I want to do that. But most of them have not been audio engineers. They didn't go to school for it. They aren't specialists. You have this whole little cultural thing that happens too. Just like in the United States, there's Harvard, or let's say I want to become a lawyer. There are some elite universities around the world that if I say, hey, I wanted to be a lawyer and I'm Harvard educated, there's a lot of brain power goes there. If they want to be an attorney, they kind of think, and if I want to be a musician, I go to New York, I go to LA, I go to Nashville, there's some centers around the world that if you want to be a musician, that's how I ended up in LA. Okay, because there's a group of people that you can work with. And since the standards are so high in LA and New York and Nashville, and there are some other places, and if you go there as a musician, man, you get, whoa, I cannot believe how good everybody is. Well, there are some places in Germany where Steinberg is there, Yamaha is there, Studio One, the team is there. And I do not know why. I don't know if it's the water. I don't know if it's the air. I don't know what has attracted so many world-class audio professionals are located in this part of Germany, and they attract them. So what you end up with is this very expensive but very highly educated and competitive team that's sitting out in Germany. And while Personas is an American company, their software division, the primary developers, sit in Germany, and they are unbelievably educated, nitpicky, pain in the rear end about audio quality people. Okay, they're nice people, but they're just no compromise on audio quality. So simple things like the effects that are in Studio One, I feel bad about this, but the limiter in Audacity is borderline terrible. It's just okay. The compressor that's in Audacity, I just every time I hear it, it's like, oh, I feel bad for people because for the price of Studio One, $80 for Studio One artists, they've got somebody who sat around and spent 3 months working on just a compressor or just a limiter. And these are people that already are super educated about that one little subsection of audio. And they have invested heavily, I mean, crazy amounts of money in the little details that make the compressor in Studio One sound way better than in almost every other product. And some of it is they have millions of musicians also using this, and they want sound quality. So you have all these different levels where the development team is higher educated because they pay a lot of money to hire people, and they're in a region where if I go out to a nightclub at night and I say, well, I do audio, I'm going to probably run into somebody else that goes, yeah, me too. I might be at a competitive company, but that's a little epicenter of development excellence for audio. And it's like, I don't know why. Okay. But if I were a young guy and if I aspired to be a developer who is doing audio related type things, I would probably go live in Germany for a period of time because there's so many great people there. And the Audacity team, I always just say, man, hats off to you guys, because that's nitpicky little stuff that you have to become really good at. And they're not getting paid enough to make it that they can pay for more education. They're not around a bunch of other people that this is their passion, that this is all they think about all the time. I like passionate people, okay? I like working with teams of people that they have a passion about whatever they're doing. That's something I look for, and Studio One has that in spades. And Audacity has great people, but their education level and who they're around, it's just not the same.